Welcome to the SkillBott Teacher Training webinar. If you are looking for the curriculum overview demo type webinar, please go to www.skillbott.com, click on Course Summary, and then scroll down to see the SkillBott Curriculum Overview. During this webinar, we will look at the teacher training portion of the program. So let's log in as a teacher. This is the teacher's home screen. This screen reminds me much of my desk when I was teaching. On the left side, I have assignments that need to be graded, much like I always had a folder with assignments in it that I needed to grade. These are the assignments that the computer could not grade. The computer will grade any multiple choice, true, false, short answer assignments, but any projects, blog, discussion forum type activities, or documents submitted need to be graded by the teacher. We have not provided rubrics for these assignments because of the wide range of things that teachers are looking for. In the center, I have my courses, my list of courses, my grade book, and basically what is my lesson plan book, much as I often had in the center of my desk. On the right side, I have a list of students who are struggling, who have some issue that I need to speak to them about. On the top up here, I have a summary of all my courses together. This is a preview site, and I have 7 students in this preview site. These icons refer to, first of all, responsiveness, and that's my responsiveness. How quickly am I getting these assignments graded? As you can see, I have a yellow light because I have some assignments that still need to be graded. Performance refers to the student's performance. Green indicates that most students have passing scores. Pace refers to the student's pace. Red here indicates that many students are behind schedule. Over here we have the processing, and this refers to how many items I have processed in terms of grading. We see that same layout down here, but in this time it is referring to each individual course. So I have many tasks that are late for interpersonal skills course and grading. However, most of my students are passing, and in this case many students are behind schedule because this is red. Okay. If we look down here at social media, I'm right on target in terms of grading. I do have some students in danger of failing the course, so it is yellow. And here I have many students behind schedule, and that's red because of that. To get down to the individual level, we look at the same icons over here. So student 1, at least 2 of the last 5 scores are below passing. However, he is on schedule. He is turning in assignments on time. This icon is an email icon. I can send an email to that student if you have provided us with emails for the students. We do not have an email service as such. You need to provide us with emails. I can also click on this student and pull up a report. We'll look at the reports in a few minutes. Let's go back over to the left and talk about the grading. The grading is very simple. It can be done from this screen or from the gradebook. Let me click on the first one. The first assignment is a blog or discussion type assignment. We are working with student 1, I can see that here on the left side, and he has turned in his second response. I've already graded student 1's first response and student 2 response. Now he has submitted another response. So I'm just looking at this response. I like working with a team. I get more ideas that way and find mistakes. So I look that over. I might look and see how many words he posted, the number of posts he's had, the average size, the time he spent, so on and so forth. I decide what kind of score I want to give him and type it in here. If I'm going to give him full credit, I simply click full credit and submit score. I can also give him a partial credit score and submit score. That's as simple as it is. I have other options. I can add notes to give the students some feedback. If I've created templates, I can insert a template here, such as good job or whatever. I can also add a note to myself if I have something particular I want to note about this assignment for the student. Down on the right, I have a couple more options also. I can continue this later, save it, and continue grading it later. Maybe I'm not done with my comments or whatever, the score will not be displayed to the student until I actually submit the score. I can excuse this assignment. For some reason I've decided this assignment was not appropriate or the student didn't understand it or whatever. I can excuse it and will not be counted in his grade. I can allow him a retry. The little blue arrow that you see here will then appear in the student's screen when they log in. And I can skip this assignment entirely and go on to the next one without saving any changes. Let's take a look at this time management assignment. In this assignment, we have a situation where part of the activity was graded by the computer, and part of it needs to be graded by me. So I will read the short answer the student wrote here. She couldn't figure out how to finish the job with all the interruptions, and give her a score. I can give her full credit. I can give her partial credit. Then I'll read the next one and do the same. And you'll notice that the computer averages it in with the score I got down here on the part the computer graded and gives me a total. I can then click Submit Score or have any of the other options that I have available for other assignments as well. In this brainstorming session 1, this time the student submitted a document. So I will open this Word document, read it over, decide on a grade, and put my grade up here. Submit Score. The final project assignments can come in many different formats. In this case, our sample student submitted a YouTube video. So I will simply click on it. It takes me directly to YouTube, where I can watch the assignment and look what the student did.
Please don't make me count.
Okay. I can decide on a grade, click the back button. It will take me back to my home screen, and I can give the student a grade. So I will simply either full credit or partial credit, whatever I've decided on, and click Submit Score. Here we have one that is considered comment boxes. So the student types an answer in a comment box. They're usually short essays. So students will answer the question. I decide what score I want to give them. Meanwhile, the computer computes the score when I'm finished, calculates it for me, and I submit the score. So basically, that's all we have to do for grading. You will also see these same screens when we get to the gradebook portion of the program. So this is this half of the screen. Let's take a look at the middle here. Under each of the courses, we have View, which takes us right out to the actual content, the actual curriculum, just as it did when the student clicked on View. I also have a syllabus here. So if I click on the syllabus, I can see exactly what the content is of each lesson in this particular course. So if I scroll down, I will see all the lessons. This is where I can hide activities or lessons. Let's say I've decided the students don't need to do lesson 3. If I want to, I can click the Edit button and Module Details, remove the check mark, and this assignment will no longer be visible to the students. I don't want to delete it because I may need it later. But just for this particular portion of my course, I want the students not to do this particular lesson. So again, I go to Edit, Module Details, and remove the check mark. If I want them to do this lesson, but maybe I don't want them to do the anecdote of the day, I double click on Anecdote of the Day. Under Visibility, I remove the check mark. It will no longer be visible for the students to do. And I have a couple of other options here as well. So I'm going to hit Cancel. That's how I will handle visibility and being able to author the program. When I hover my mouse over here, you'll notice we have a pop-up screen. Those are the Common Core standards that are aligned to this particular activity or lesson. And we'll look at the reports on the Common Core in a few minutes. Just a couple more items here. Under Course Settings, you need to set up the gradebook if you desire to change what comes with the default for each particular course. So I'm going to click on the Gradebook tab. Here's my passing score. I can change that here if I choose to. I have 3 grading scales that are previously made. So this is a straight A, B, C, D. This is an A+, A- grading scale. And this is a simple pass-fail. I can edit any of these, or I can add my own. If I add my own, it will appear in this drop-down list. So when setting up the course, I need to choose the grading scale that I wish to use for this course from the drop-down menu. Then I click Done, and I'm finished. The other options over here are kind of general. If you would rather see points than percent, or if you'd like to see the minutes spent in the course, you're not going to take a grade for it, you can click that here. Okay. There's some other options here that we can get into in more advanced training once you've gotten the hang of the program a little better. Let me go back to the home screen, although I can go to any of these links from this screen as well. I can also skip to another course. But let's go back to the home screen so we get used to using the home screen. So we've looked at syllabus. Let's take a look at the gradebook. The gradebook is just like any other electronic gradebook. Okay. The students are listed over here with their overall score here, and here are all the different activities or assignments they might have. These are already graded. The glossary of keywords was graded by the computer. Here's one that I still have to grade. Again, you see the same screen that we saw from the home page. You're going to do the same thing, put the score in here, and submit score. You can save different options to display options on this screen by clicking under Display Options. So I have Show Lesson Details and Non-Gradable Items selected here. There are some more display options. I have also chosen to show me the minutes spent and have the grades show in a percent. So now I have Think and Respond questions. The student got 100% and spent 1 minute on it. The other option that I've chosen down here is to have the students who have missing assignments displayed. So if I click on this, I will see that there are 2 students that have not submitted this assignment. I can send an email to them if I have their email address directly from this screen. All of these options are under the display options under visible columns or visible footers. If your school or group has decided that you have the rights to add students, you can add them and drop them directly here. Just a word of caution, if you have more than one person adding students, you need to make sure you don't get the same student added twice. It will not allow you to add the duplicate, but many people will simply add an initial or something and add that same student, not realizing that he's already in the system. You can export these scores to any other grading system that you might be using in your organization. It exports as a CSV file and can be easily imported into other types of grading books. Okay. So that is the gradebook. It's pretty simple to use. This is also where I can quickly look at reports. If I click on Student 1 here, I get the main report that we have in SkillBott. And this, of course, is a list of all the assignments that he's done, along with his score. If they're red, he's failing. If they're red over here in the due column, it means he turned them in late. Okay. This piece of paper indicates that this is an assignment that still needs to be graded. Okay. These reports can simply be printed from your browser printer, just like you would print anything else that you would print from the internet. I have a couple of options up here. I can go back to the gradebook as the teacher. There's a what-if calculator, so if students, and the students have this option too, as well as this same report, if students want to see what would happen if they increase their scores, they can change their scores here and ask it to recalculate, and then it will show them what their score would be if they got higher scores. So that's the what-if calculator. There's also the class statistics. This does not tabulate until there are at least 5 students with scores. The weighting scale that we used, which is set back also in the syllabus. Learning objective mastery, activity report, and a calendar. Let's take a look at the activity report, and we'll go back to the objectives in a minute. The activity report is just a different type of report. It shows the time on task for each activity. And again, this can be printed from your browser using your browser printer. And if I want to go back to grades, I simply click on the other icon. Let me go back to that gradebook for a minute. So to find the report, I simply clicked on the student's name. Let me go back to the home screen. So we've looked at syllabus and gradebook. Let's take a look at objectives. This is showing me the mastery of the objectives for my whole class. I can also click on an individual student and see how far along he is towards mastery of the objectives. As noted in the initial demo, we are aligned to the reading, writing, speaking and listening, and language Common Core goals, as well as scans and EFF. So what does this mean? In this particular case, the Common Core goal about determining the central idea or conclusion of a text, 7% of my class has mastered this goal. Now there's a formula going on behind the scenes created by Brain Honey that determines this mastery. So as you can see, these percentages refer to the amount of percent of my students who have mastered that particular Common Core standard. The students as well can see the same report on an individual basis. Okay, so if I go back to the home screen again, you'll notice we've covered all four of these links. Let's look up at the top for just a minute. Under Communicate, this is where you can either email students if you provided us with the email addresses, and you can also post announcements. And that's the last thing I want to show you today. So I will simply click on New Announcement, choose a course to send it to, type in the subject area, and then put in the announcement that I'd like to have posted to the students. When I also can choose the recipients as well over here. I'll type in a message. Once I click post, it will appear on the student's screens, and it will also appear on my home screen. So that's about all you need to know to get started with SkillBott. We'll be doing another training with more advanced options. However, there are a few. This is pretty much the way you see this program is what you get, and it's pretty easy to use. So please let us know if you need any further assistance. Thank you.